people, for regular people. Here's
Great.
here's all the agents tuning in to see what we've learned this past week. And we were talking about how and every market's different. So if your market is different from ours, please drop a comment and let us know what you're seeing. But one of the things we're finding is that in our still very severe sellers market in Chicagoland, buyers can still get a deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so how are they getting deals? You just got your buyers a great deal.
Yeah, I mean, if they're willing to be the type of buyer that isn't like everything has to be done exactly to how I want it or close enough in order for me to put an offer in. You know, if they can see the potential in the place and you can find those houses that have been sitting for a while, you know, the time for negotiation, I think, is back. Um, you know, I think it was easy to fall into that trap for the last few years where, you know, we were in a crazy market. Every property, regardless of condition, was multiple offers over asking price. You were having to beat crazy things like all cash offers over a few years ago. I think now, you know, obviously, if you're in that situation where you know you're dealing with multiple offers, you know, you have to be good a good agent to your clients and let them know the reality of the situation. But you know, you also can have a honest conversation with them about risk tolerance on certain places and say, hey, you know, I think there's some room to maybe, you know, squeeze a little juice out here, um, and find the opportunities where they are. You
And
know,
if they're willing to lose it,
yeah,
and there's other
absolutely,
possibilities coming up, then that makes sense. Obviously, if this is, somebody's got to be in that school district by a certain date or something like that, they're going to have to still bite the bullet. But if a buyer is, and that's where I see, when we talk about negotiation as agents, I find that the person I negotiate the most with is my own client, right?
yeah,
Helping them see the big picture, helping them figure out what's most important to them, helping them figure out how to get what's most important to them. So it's not always about getting the best price. That's certainly a factor. We'd love to, but sometimes it's just about getting the house because that's what's most important to them. Um,
and it's going to be the best price for them. You know, so if they're
yes.
the client that needs to move, and you know they aren't able to, hey, I got a couple months left on my lease, or you know I have other living arrangements, I can take my time. You know, obviously it's going to be a more aggressive play anywhere in the market where you're looking. You can still find them deals if they're willing to look at houses that need work. You know, some of the clients I'm working with, though, they are a little bit more laid back on their time frame for things, and you know they don't want to rent anymore, but they want to, um, you know, they don't want to feel rushed or forced into anything. And you know, if the client's telling you they're willing to, you know, hey, let's be a little aggressive and see what we can do. You know, I think that you're not they're not wrong to tell you to take a chance, you know, in certain situations. And you know, I've had it this year where, you know, I told the client, hey, you know, we're really close. Like, you know, are you sure? And he said, this is exactly what I want you to say, and and that's exactly what I said back, and he got exactly what he wanted. So, you know, I think it's important for us to remember at the end of the day, listen to what the client's telling you, and you know, give them your best advice and let them know, you know, what the potential consequences are. But if they're confident
And,
about a decision,
and
and
that's key, right? Understanding, having the right expectations, understanding what the consequences are.
right,
So, because sometimes I don't think this has happened to me, but I know it's happened to other other people's clients, um, that they say, I didn't know that that could happen. I didn't know that they could do that. I thought, sometimes the counter offers, they can
yeah,
just say no and take another offer. They can just say no and not take another offer.
right,
You get to do all those things. So, one of the things I remember from real estate school is that every offer is a new offer.
right,
Every offer negates the last offer. So sometimes people are like, but we already said that, they were going to include the pool table. How can they take it away now? because they can.
Right.
So our job uh, to help the client understand all of the repercussions, all of the possibilities, all of the risks and benefits. Yeah, you might get this for $5,000 less, or you might completely lose the house. Is either of those okay with you? And if they say, well, I don't want to lose the house for $5,000, well, then don't.
Right. Then they already made up their own mind, and you don't even know to talk them in or out of anything, or advise them into or out of anything. Just make them aware of what the outcomes could be, and let them feel confident about whatever the decision is made at the time. And I always tell them, like, hey, are you going to regret it if we lose the house over pushing? And if they say no, then okay, let's push. See what we
Right.
can get. And if they say yes, then you don't do it.
Exactly. And it's important to keep checking back in with them with that
Yeah,
too, because it changes. So
absolutely.
every single counter offer, I will go back to that. Is this what you're willing to lose it for?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I love
Okay.
that. I think that's the best way to always present to your clients, when you're working on writing an offer up for them. What are you willing to lose it for, and going from there.
And I tell clients all the time, my job is to give you all the information. Your job is to make the decisions. So I think it's an easy thing to want to make the decision or to want to push the decision that we think is right. And it's so important that people make their own decisions based on their own comfort.
Yeah, right, right. I mean, we should be happy when we feel like they win, and that can mean
Yeah.
different things.
Or lost on their terms.
Right.
And that's the hardest one to feel good about. But
Yeah.
I've had that happen many, many times, really quite a bit on both sides. After going through, here's all of the risks, here's all of the possibilities. What do you want to do? Make the decision. They lose it. It's hard. That's really hard. But as long as that was truly what was most important to them, we have to be okay with it. It
Right.
can't be about us.
Right. Yeah, totally agree.
Even when we're right. Even when we're right and they're wrong, still has to be their decision.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah, and like I said, sometimes you'll get clients that want to be aggressive, and you're kind of like, all right, and they can sometimes, they can be right these days. There are situations out there where you might be the only offer, and it's a good time to really
Yeah.
practice your people skills and feeling out the other side, and you know being really tight with your client on what your strategy is.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've learned on both sides that, those cosmetic things that we tell sellers are important are really important.
They're huge. They matter again. Okay,
They
like
they really do. Yep.
it's not 3 years ago where your roof falling in, or even just bad
Ugly
paint,
carpeting.
and you know
Take the ugly
the,
carpeting
the
out.
little the little things matter again. Put it
Yep.
that way.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, and drop us a comment. We will answer, I promise. Thanks, Jack.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.